Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniatures. It's Monday, which, as always, in case you haven't been here before, means it's time for our weekly painting progress. And when I say our, I should just say mine because it's just me this week. Some people in my family were too busy playing Warframe and not bothering to get anything painted. But that's okay. I'll forgive them this time. And it doesn't matter because I ended up getting a crap load of stuff painted as well. So let's get this show on the road. And behold my wonderfully detailed Saxon churl here. This is, yeah, I didn't even bother to paint his face. I churned through some churls this week. So we got that one. We got one with a thresher from Fireforge Peasants. I think it's, yeah, no, that's definitely a churl. That's definitely the Saxon kit. There was no rhyme or reason to how any of these guys were built, and there's a bunch of them. One done up a little bit more like a Viking, complete with a horn. An archer. And again, I'm just shooting for basic enough tabletop paint jobs that, you know, they can get used. I picked up the rules for Lion Rampant recently, and I'm like, this is perfect for a lot of this Dark Age stuff we've got, so I am absolutely going to be putting these guys to work in that. And, oh, you know what? I just realized I've got all the shield transferred. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, I'm going to have to put those to use, too. All right, we have one that was cobbled together with his big brother's Frostgrave bits, it looks like. I'm a big boy now. Our heroic dual wielder. Very odd pose, but it works. It is what it is. And the dog is busy howling at random motorcycles driving by. And the inspiration for Ichiro's batting stance. Swing high, my friend. And then finally a spearman. I'm going to actually go back, since I've got so many of these bodies still, I'm going to try to actually organize up a unit of guys for close combat, and then a set of Saxons with spears. And it should all work out quite well. I think that's all the Saxons for this week. I actually have quite a few more that are just about finished as well. We'll get to them as things progress. Then up we have a little old lady with a frying pan. This comes to us from Carnivale from Tabletop Combat. I want to say she was part of the Patricians faction. I could be wrong. She might have been a random guild leftover. I don't know. But it's a crotchety old woman with a frying pan. Cast iron scale. How can you go wrong with a model like that, right? It's one of those staples of tabletop games that everybody needs. All right, what else we got here? A couple of Perry miniatures this week. So I was going to do some videos on some of the Agincourt guys, and I started putting together, like I said, with those Lion Rampant rules, I want to put together a quick blue and red army. So I guess we'll do French and blue and the English and red, which sounds pretty appropriate anyway. So that's one of the men-at-arms plastic kits, and then obviously a French crossbowman. Really quick and simple, but that's what I needed anyway. And you get tons of bodies in a box, so we're going to definitely be putting them to use. Let's move the mob out of the way a bit. All right, what else we got here? One of RGD Gaming's Centaurs, which I hastily painted up, basically just to mention the fact that they've got a Kickstarter going at the moment that is very close to funding for hard plastic Scythians and Amazons and hopefully satyrs to go along with their fawns, all in plastic. So if you want something different, I mean, this is going to be my car salesman moment, I guess, of the day. Definitely give that a look. I will put a link down below if I can put words in the correct order in a sentence. But yeah, they were fun little kits. I still have quite a few sprues of the Centaurs, and I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with them. So I'm thinking I need to do something special just to help get some more eyes on that campaign, because I want my hard plastic Ancients and Amazons and stuff like that. And they said they're going to have them actually a little bit beefier and larger than the models the last time around. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Okay. Next up, we've got a Legends of Signa model. Makes a fun little bard. She's playing a bladed violin. And she's got a tambourine. How often do you have models with tambourines on them? I don't know. That seems to be a pretty decent tabletop staple right there, as well as old ladies with cast iron skillets, right? What else we got? Printed a bunch of stuff. Oh, here we go. Before we go to printed stuff. I already got that Avatars of War Lord Marauder Chief. I forget what he was called. I dig this model, though. This was like, I had to get him painted right away. And I think he actually came out pretty decent. Put him on a 32mm base. I think he's cool enough to actually go hang with all of my Mircesians. In case you guys are curious how big he is, I do have a Chaos Warrior here. Someday I'm going to get this dude painted up. I'm tired of him sitting around unpainted on the table. And then we got a bunch of printed stuff. So I printed up a couple more Vikings from Lovecraft Designs' Viking campaign, and hopefully they're going to get that new one started pretty soon. And as I mentioned, I will definitely be putting a link down below. I thought this guy came out pretty nice. I was telling a friend of mine I was painting with yesterday, I've broken him now 3 separate times. The first time, took a chunk out of his cloak right there, and I never was able to recover that. Broke the axe head, broke the shield completely, and I think for the most part, you can sort of see there's part of the crack. Real hairline crack where it separated. I think other than the fact that I just pointed it out, you probably wouldn't have noticed. And same thing with the axe. But he came out pretty nice. I'm quite happy with him. I printed this guy ages ago. This is an early print job. I think this was done on my old Anycubic Photon that died on me, that Anycubic didn't want to bother replacing, and sent me a million things, and I still haven't got it to work yet. But anyway, you can see there's a couple of little spots all around him where the supports were yanked off quite unceremoniously. It came out okay. And then, apologies for the doe-eyed Rolo here. This is totally supposed to be Rolo from the Vikings TV show. And again, I printed him a long time ago, and you can see these horrid spots where I ripped off the supports. That was before I started trying to do it the hot water style. That seems to be doing a lot better for me. But I'm not one to just, throw my hands up in the air and waste a almost perfectly good print. So we went ahead and we got him done. But yeah, he looks like a doe-eyed anime protagonist. Won't you notice me, senpai? Yeah. And then, while we're at it, here's another Viking. And I know the eyes aren't the greatest. It totally looks like Torvi from the same show. And I didn't realize that at the time. This is actually a Legends of Signum one, though. Did I just say that? I've already forgotten. They did a Viking-themed month on their Patreon Signum workshop a few months ago. So, printed her up in Ragnar, in Lagratha, and a bunch of other people. And then we just showed this guy off the other day, too. Went ahead and got him all painted up. Yeah, look at that horrid job I did there. Yuck. We'll keep him from the front. So yeah, I totally painted him up originally as Netero from Hunter x Hunter, and it didn't click with me. I didn't like it, so repainted him. Kind of simple, kind of plain, but it works. Set him in the back. And then there is this majestic creature from Cobra Mode. Oh, what do they call him? Duber, I don't remember. They had some kind of funky name for their platypi guys, and I'll be having some videos on those. I printed up some of the other ones We'll have to show them off shortly. And one of these days, I've got their crazy giant Yeti demon boss on a mountain with giant floaty spirits, dude. And every time I'm about to film it, I can't find one of the parts. So I'm hoping beyond hope that maybe next week I can finally get him done and shown off. But yeah, this is like their dignitary, and he's supposed to have a bunch of big bodyguards with him. But I had to paint him up as gaudy of colors as possible. Because, platypi aren't going to be the bastions of fashion that they think they are. And finally, it would not be a week of painting here at Obscurities and Miniatures without yet another Kingdom Death model. So we went ahead and got the Paladin from Echoes of Death 3 done. And overall, I think she turned out okay. She's kind of spacing out with her eyes there, but I'm okay with it. Again, just a nice quick paint job. She's very tall too. I also realized, I'm going to point this out because why not? I totally put her lantern in the wrong spot. It should be over to the right a few millimeters there, not just hanging where it is. But I didn't realize that at the time. It wasn't until I'd actually started painting her that became fairly obvious. Otherwise, I'm quite happy with her. That is a huge freaking sword too. I mean, she even towers over to the Chaos Lord, dude. So, a nice haul of stuff, a good variety of stuff, and if you are ever curious, as always, we do put the links down below to everything that's out here this week, and hopefully you guys are going to see something you like and go ahead and take a look. While you're at it, we'd like you guys to check out our Patreon as well. We are always in the mood for your advice and opinions on how and what we should be painting, and other random stuff every now and then shows up there as well. So we'll put the link down there below as well. Hopefully all of you are out there staying safe, staying warm, and staying dry, because for whatever reason it's getting cold and wet around here in Southern California. And I know my buddies in the Northeast, you guys, fingers crossed, are not going to be absolutely swamped with snow. But if you are, hey, more time to paint, right? With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.